go fishing in our area, talk to the boys in here because they know their stuff. Yeah, and of course, my beautiful new hat from Pemberton Fish Finder. That is our charter company that we are running through the shop, and you got Brad behind the computer there doing the masterwork. Hey guys, Kyle. And yeah, so it's that time. Well, it's a little early, but it's that time of year for black ant hatches. Only reason why it's this time of year is because it's been so bloody hot, and they usually hatch when we get that good first 2 weeks of plus 20 weather, like into the 25s, 27s, which has happened the last couple days, and all of a sudden, bang, the ants are out. So there's a bunch of flying black ant patterns from last year. Here's a new one. This one's a high riding black ant. This one cannot be sunk, so we'll go downstairs, check it out.
It's impossible to see.
Impossible.
You can fish
bulletproof.
that with a sinking line and it can still float.
That's right. So one of the reasons why I tried this one, it probably would too.
Yeah, I bet
it would. This thing ain't going down. One of the reasons why I went back to the bench and did this one up is because right now we have the cutties in, and they're a pretty ferocious fish. I go fishing for the resident West Coast cuts on the Elk River, and they hit these really big, colorful foam patterns. So I was like, nah, why wouldn't it work up here? Same kind of species. Ours are sea run, but they're still a very aggressive fish. And a lot of those black ants that are out there are really, really big. And coupled with the time of year, so we have hot weather, then we got the spring runoff happening, so our rivers are exploding. So we need something that's big, that's going to stand up to the waters trying to drown them.
Rotate that sucker.
And that's what we got.
Looks very buggy, eh?
Very, very buggy. We got some rubber leg, some visual wing for us to see.
How many legs does a black ant have?
6.
Yeah, I was gonna say
there's 8 on this.
Like,
I don't think the fish count though.
Okay, because I was just looking at that going, I'm like,
it looks too many, eh?
Right.
Yeah. So yes, ants have 6 legs, but I did 8.
Well, we could just throw one away.
Yeah, that way when the fish gets it,
one on either side. Yeah, throw 2 away, whatever. But if you want to do 1 on either side, or it'd be 4 leg on one side and 2
it'd be
on
a
the
cripple.
other. Yeah, it'd be mutant black ant. Well, hey, maybe they like that because it's an easy picking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
can't swim nearly as fast.
He just does circles.
Yeah, yeah.
So what we got here is we put our dry fly hook in. This one's a 12 3x long. You want a fairly long one. And now what we do is we build the body. So I got some 3mm black foam here. Cut yourself a strip about yay wide. So obviously, you know, this is left over from the previous ones that I've done. So you cut yourself a strip, and you're going to do it twice because we are going to laminate these together with a little bit of Gorilla Glue. So you get your 2 strips, and you just put some glue going down your foam and glue your other strip. Let them dry. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get the length that you want. So what I do is I had my long strip and I put it up on my foam or on my hook here, and I want it to be tied right up to the nose, and I want it to extend past the hook. This one I know is just a little longer than what I want. So I'm just going to trim a little bit off here. And now we have some artistry to do. We need to shape our piece. So, you know, I'm extending past my hook bend, maybe about a 1/3 of my hook length. Not too much. And now we need to start shaping this thing. So, first step, the head. We're going to just nip off the corner, nip off the corner. All right, just like that. Now we're going to make the indent behind the head. So from that corner that we've just nipped, I'm going to nip in.
I could see that being tough on scissors.
Yeah, that's why I'm using my old shitty ones. And we nip in. So don't go right to the center, otherwise your head will just fall off.
And you don't want your head to fall off.
Next, we're going to go to the butt end. And again, we nip the corners off. This time you can make that corner nip just a little bit bigger. And I'm going to just round out the butt a little bit. So, you know, you can make this as smooth as a transition as you want. Carving the foam is the part that takes the time. The rest of it goes together really easy. Sheridan, can you put that back on for me?
Actually, doesn't look too bad like that.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I can't see what I was doing.
What do you need to see?
I should be able to tie with my eyes closed, right?
The funny thing is, it goes to the light, the yellow light.
All right. So next we're going to do this body. So I'm going to cut up to where I did those indents in my head, and I'm going to do it just up from the corner. And put a little slice in there, and I'm going to do the other side the same.
We're busy here at the store, so that's why you're hearing all the beeping and changing.
I gotta go, Brett. I gotta make the dump.
All right. So we got that done, and now we just got to make these two little pieces match up. I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. See what I've done? We've cut it out. And we're going to do the other side as well. Scissors right in there. Cut that shape out. Now you can clean it up a little bit. I like to...
You're doing it all right behind the vise, so I can't really see.
Oh, sorry. It's where I can see though. And then I just kind of round out the head a little bit here. I'll show you when I'm done. Just kind of get rid of the sharp edges. Oh, it's looking good, looking good.
Real time, baby. Real time.
Yeah, so now you know exactly how long it's going to take you. And like I said, this is the only part that takes a bit. So what I did the other day when I was making them, once I figured out how to do it, I just went ahead and did a whole bunch of bodies. Alright, so that's what you're left with. A tie.
Bowling ball.
Or a bowling pin.
Bowling pin, yeah.
Alright, so we're going to put that aside. Now we're going to assemble our fly. And it's going to go together pretty quick. So get your thread on your hook. And I bring my wraps right back to the hook point. And forward. Now I want to get a good amount of thread. I'm gonna go just back and forth once or twice because we need to glue this foam to our hook so the thread gives the glue something to bind to, right? And now I'm going to move my thread back to about the middle, and you can measure it up with your fly. So if my head's going to be here, I want my thread to be in that middle. All right. So next, of course, I didn't bring my X-Acto blade. Let's see if I can do it with my scissors.
Oh, I got one here.
You got a little knife?
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put a little slit in the underside to fit this foam down on top of. Oh. Forgot there was one extra thing that I added to this to help the wing. I'll show you here. So just at the behind the head, I'm gonna make one extra carving.
Doing it all behind there.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Can't do it out in front of me. Just doesn't work. We'll show you when we're done here. There you go. So just make a cut in and a cut in on the back. So what we're going to do is take our blade here. That's where my head's going to be. My hook point's about here. And we're going to make a slice on the underside. I'm not going to go right through.
Just something for it to sit in.
Just something, yeah, so that foam comes down on top of that hook. So the nice thing about the super glue is that it cures up pretty hard. So you can actually feel it with your blade once you've gotten through the foam. So I don't go past that super glue middle section. Now the next part's really easy. So I happen to be using Gorilla Glue. And now put a good bead of it on your hook. Let it smears down. And I'm just going to fold this ant right onto it. And kind of squish it closed on the underside.
We got to show you something.
Is he coming? Oh, you guys ready? We got no shit. 25 cents.
All right. So you could do a bunch of them ahead of time and then let it all set. I'm going to kind of rush it. And I'm going to keep tying. So take that thread now that's in the middle. Do a couple good wraps in the middle of that fly. There we go. Work it up. That forms the head. So you can see why now I cut that middle section out. It just makes that all happen really easy. And if you're looking at the material list, you'll notice I forgot to put the rubber legs in. My apologies. So you need 2 black rubber legs. These are a medium size. Alright, so we got our legs, and I want my back legs to be just a smidge longer than the body off the back. So I'm going to tie them in, and I'm making sure that my thread's at the back of the thorax here. Tie it in, maneuver them so that they're sticking straight up the side. There we go. Now pull all your legs forward, and I'll show you on the other side here. I'll rotate it over so you can see I got them going straight up the side, up to the head. Now at this point we can trim off our front legs, so I just make them just a shy shorter than the front or the back ones. And I'll do it on this side as well. Just kind of match it up. I'll try and tie it in so that you guys can see. But I am going to have to get my thread to the back first. There we go.
That super glue does the trick, though, doesn't it? Makes it so much easier. If you don't glue them in,
that foam just twists around constantly.
Forget about it.
All right, so you got the back legs in.
Excuse me.
I'm going to hold my front legs forward, and I'm going to wrap up so right behind the head. There we go. So that's going to keep your front leg pointing forward and the back one's pointing back. And those are just a little bit shorter than my back legs. And then we can just match. So, beautiful. There you go. You got a black ant, plain as can be. Now, I'm going to move my thread back again. I'm going to take some crystal flash here and create my underwing. So I'm grabbing about 3 pieces of it. No, I can't. All right, so I'm gonna get them on there.
You know, when they're laying on the water, did you notice that their wings splay out to the side?
Yep.
That crystal flash would probably look good if it was laying out the sides on either side.
Well, that's
something we got to tweak with.
So I'm making my crystal flash just longer than the bottom. So what you can do, what Brad's talking about, if I leave my crystal flash out like this,
it's gonna look like a wing.
That'll do it. All right, so that's your crystal flash in. Next, you're gonna grab a little bit of deer hair. I didn't bring my hair stacker, but no big deal. Getting all that down out of there. And any of the shorter fibers, so you always want to get those shorter ones out of there. There we go. And this deer hair is pretty good. It's all stacked pretty nicely. Hold it by the tips, and you can see all that shorter stuff falls out. You don't want that stuff. Okay. Now measure up your wing. It's going to go to just past the back of the abdomen. Now, your first couple wraps, if your thread is right at the back, I want you to do nice and loose. So if you look at the ants, their wing doesn't stand straight up. It lays along their body. So as I go forward here, I'm doing some loose wraps. And then once I get up towards the head here, now I can start pulling it in tight. So those first few loose wraps help to keep that from going straight up in the air. It's still going to go up. It's deer hair.
So you could use that fly as a stone or a salmon fly, or
Yeah.
not a salmon fly because it's got an orange body, but
just change the when you do your laminate, do one thing of black and then do one thing of orange for the bottom.
Yeah. I mean, that would work as a hopper too.
So what I'm going to do is get rid of, well, that's where the inspiration of it came from, was hoppers. So I'm just going to trim off that tag, and I'm going to leave all that in there. I don't think it hurts. And we're going to get these stragglers out of here.
Hitchhikers. Nobody rides for free here.
All right, so I do a couple of nice tight turns through that deer hair. Keep it all on the top, and then we'll finish right in that back there. Not trapping my legs. Having one of those days. Ugh, there we go. So that's my Boulder's bigger flying black ant made of foam. Indestructible.
Black ant.
Big foam black ant. There you go. So
roller, man. Let's have a, yeah,
that's what you end up with. Now, if you like what sometimes happens with the super glue is you'll get white stuff underneath. I just took a Sharpie and cleaned it up. But I don't think it really matters too much. That's it, man.
That thing's bomb-proof.
That's all I got. Pretty simple.
Okay, let's go back up top.
So, thanks for watching. It's Friday Night Flies. I'm Boulder. I love the tug. And we're going to be back with another pattern. So join us in a quick 5, 10. I don't know. Come back.
10 at max.
10 at max. So, yeah, happy fishing. Come back. Tie some of these up. Get them in your box.